Simon from Life's a Gamble, Let's Take a Chance, back at Titchmarsh Marina on a sunny late July afternoon. It's not too bad here at the moment. It's a little bit hot, but it's better than being cold, wet and rainy, I suppose. Just had a quick look round Chance, and it's looks like I've to do a bit of shoring up of the stern over the next few days to try and get rid of some of the twist in her stern. At the moment, the port hand side seems to have dropped a little bit, which means the starboard hand side, it must be chocked a bit too heavily, and it looks like the starboard hand side's high and the port side's low, but we'll have to rectify that with some shoring under the port hand side and give her back some of the shape that she needs in the transom. There'll be a few old methods of finding out when she's level again by putting a lead line down the stern on a line on a pin at the top, and then just shoring the boat up bit by bit until the plumb line gets to the centre of the dead wood at the back of the boat, and then we'll know that the back of the boat is straight again, and then we can take all the measurements off that and then start to rebuild the stern. Also, one of the other jobs will have to be done is the removing all the rotten planking in the bottom and replacing that with new wood. One of the things that I've learned over the years is that we can often be able to replace the bottom boards right in the bilge with larch when the cost of Iroko or mahogany is far too expensive to do the job, and it comes to no harm because the boat's going to be back in salt water, not fresh water, so there won't be a rot problem with having larch in the bottom. And many a boat over the years gets reskinned with different woods as times gets better and worse according to the amount of money people have got to spend on them. But there's no reason why we can't put larch boards back in the bottom, although we will be putting mahogany planks round above the waterline so that they don't move too much, and it would look very much like it was when she was originally built. One of the other jobs we'll try and tackle over the next few days is to take the covering boards off right around the boat to expose the top of the frames and the ribs, which will be able to be pushed down from the top down to the bilge and to the keel. So rather than try and force them behind everything else in between, which would be a real nuisance, or just replacing parts of the ribs, we intend to replace the whole length of the rib from the keel right to the deckhead, and so make it a lot stronger again as she once was. I'm not a great lover of sistering or brothering up ribs, because all you're doing is putting more holes in the bottom of the boat when there's no necessity for it, and it doesn't look very nice when you take the boat to bits later on and you see that people, rather than take a broken rib out, have just sisted it up with another short one. I was always told if you had a broken rib, replace it, don't sister it, because the boat's moved out of shape because it's broken. Find out the reason why it's broken, rectify it and put a new rib in. Don't just keep adding sistering ribs, because that does no useful purpose whatsoever. So that's what we're going to have to do with over the next few weeks, is to take out ribs that are broken away places of the boat. But in the meantime, the most of the work I'm going to have to do is going to be on the starboard hand side and try and get it all back to shape to what she was, and then possibly make up a jig in the workshop to make a new transom, which was as it was originally built in Silver's yard, on a big jig in a workshop, then taken round to the building shed where Chance was built at Rossney, and then fitted on the boat while the boat was being built. I was talking to the owner of Silvers now, and he was an old boy who lives close to the yard who still says that that's how many of the Silvers were built, that they were built on jigs, then assembled on the slipways, and then they were planked up and then finished off and then launched and then fitted out. So that's what we're going to do what they did originally almost 80 years ago, build them as kits, repair them and put them back together again, and then get the boat afloat and then finish her off in the water. But that's all for now. Talk to you soon. Bye. We will get on with repairing the stern of the boat. As you can see, it's in quite a mess at the moment, as we've taken a lot of the stuff out of it and never got a chance to put a lot of it back in because work got in the way. But now work has for the summer's gone quite a little bit, which is helpful to me to get on with chance. And so, as you can see, the starboard side where the beam shelf is in a terrible state. That'll be one of our first jobs to do, is to take that out all the way to towards the stem in the main cabin into the galley area. Remove that and put a new one in. Also remove the stern after deck, which will have to come off to expose the two beams you can see in the photograph at the moment. There, one of them, there's another one, and then the third one is right against the aft cabin side, which that'll have to come out as well. So 3 new deck beams, and then the framework for the transom's got to be built all the way down to the bottom of the stern post. As you can see, that's once the port hand side's fairly well there in place, the starboard hand side is missing, so we've got to make that all anew. And that's what we're going to be doing over the next few days and into this coming weekend on Saturday. Sunday's going to be my day off from boat work and other work to go out with the family. We decided that we need to have one day away from chance and any other thing to do with boats and do something completely different. But in the meantime, this is what I'm going to be doing shortly, starting to get on with this bit of the boat and get worked on. Good afternoon, Simon from Life's a Gambler's Let's Take a Chance, back at Chance at Walton on the Naze. As you can see, the cover's blown off yet again. That's not a problem. The cover will be removed shortly, and we will then go around and fill as many of the holes on the roof as possible to keep the weather out, and then we will get on with repairing